Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Libra, March 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, Clairvoyant. Well, I've got a great deck for you this month. I think it's called Star Tarot. I'll have a think about it. I throw away all the boxes and papers with decks because they take up too much space. And they don't really do me much good. So I think that's what it is, Star Tarot. And it was very kindly given to me by somebody who, and they're always the best way, if you want to make use of tarot decks, they usually work better if someone has given them to you. Did you know that? I found that over decades of doing this. Now, what I will say also is that as a clairvoyant, I can provide you with a clairvoyant reading, which goes for about an hour and a half, wherever you may be living in the world, over FaceTime and Skype. Now, I charge for those. The details are in the description at the end of the video, if you want to have a look or you're curious. Now, but what I do not charge for, and which is offered for free, with no catch, no obligation, nothing will be sold to you, you will not be hammered with emails afterwards, is the gift of healing. And it takes about 45 minutes, and it comes through me and not from me, as you would imagine. Now, I've been doing that for over 40 years or 4 decades or so, and look, the thing is that I am to get nothing in return for it, or it wouldn't work and it would be doing damage to my soul. So it's offered for free, with no obligation, no strings attached. Hundreds of people through this channel have taken advantage of it. Now, if this is speaking to you, then just look at the information that's in the description. And if it does call out, remember, you're not alone. Plenty of people have done it. Happily so. Now, there are no video advertisements breaking their way into this content, and so you get to enjoy the reading direct without any interruption. So show me the magic. Queen of Cups, 7 of Pentacles. What's going on in here? Something's supposed to come out. Ace of Cups. What's here? What's here? King of Pentacles. Gee, a few people around. I might use my pen to point out a couple of interesting things as I see them anyway, but you can see plenty of the esoteric type of imagery that's in them. I won't do too many, of course, otherwise I'll run out of time. And finally, there is the Ace of Pentacles. Well, why don't you come sit down here next to me? I'll bring the camera around for everybody else. And you and I can have a look at the great art that's on these cards together. All the cosmic energies swirl and speak to us both, and I'll do the reading for you. Great time of year this spring, coming up in the spring equinox at 0 degrees Aries, the 21st of March in the Northern Hemisphere. And the start of the tropical zodiac. And why we call it the tropical zodiac in the West is because it comes from the Greek word topos, meaning turning points. And the cardinal signs, being Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra, one of yours, that is a turning point for the sun to go into another season. Just let me, while I'm just waiting for the beauty that's coming up here to manifest itself with me, this reminds me of my wife, a beautiful woman, beautiful features. Not like a cover girl on a Vogue magazine, but beautiful, beautiful skin, beautiful hair, beautiful laugh, beautiful friend, beautiful lover. And we were lying in our bed one night, her naked body pressed close to mine, as we were bathed in a sweat that had been turned golden by the dimmed lighting. She said to me, "You are like a god, like an immortal one." And I whispered back to her, "Oh no, That is the furthest thing away from what I am, because it seems that each night that I lie with you, I just die a little part. And the next day, she left me. She was crossing an intersection, and then somebody coked out or methed out of their head, sped through a red light and hit her. And it was instant. And later, when I was asked to come into the morgue and identify the body, I saw that those beautiful features had been dishonored by that second of brutality. And her absence was like the sky, or more importantly, I suppose, it got right into my body which before then had meaning because it was her lover, then became simply an empty house. And yet, she still teaches me. She taught me about loss and grief, and she went on to teach me about renewal, about hope, and about living this precious moment of life. And still, it's as if she is speaking and says that at the center of this universe is a loving heart that continues to beat and that wants the best for every person. And anything that we can do to help foster the intellect and spirit and emotional growth of our fellow human beings, that is our job. And those of us who have this particular vision must continue against all odds, because life is for service. Right, well, this has come to me now in a flash. Excuse me for that brief interlude there. Now let's have a look at this particular energy here. This has a lot to say to you this month. I think Leo, Virgo, and Cancer are going to be important to you. This is about love in its purest form. And I've also got to say that there is an awful amount of Libra around here as well. You can see the metaphorical description of the divine pouring love down through this golden chalice, through this lotus, connecting the sun, masculine, to the feminine full moon here, and the rainbow signifying, I think, the connection between the divine and creation. Now, I think what you have here is a love that is going to be so brilliant for you and such an emotional clarity, and that's emphasized, I think, by the balance that's in this particular painting here. Great opportunity for new relationships. I see birth and pregnancy, sensual passion, and there's an emotional balance available to be used and drawn upon you for months to come. And you'll find that the giving of love happens effortlessly. That which is continuously flowing into you from the boundless abundance of the beloved will also radiate outward once again by itself if you remain open and receptive. I guess you can compare it to this flower which sends out its perfume whether someone comes close to enjoy it or not. You're going to be in contact with all-embracing love, and it's going to fill you, and you'll be able to pass it on generously to other people. But this is saying to you that to remember that to love at all is to be vulnerable. Now, love anything, and your heart can get wrought, twisted, and possibly even broken. And if you want to make sure of keeping it intact, then you can't give your heart to anybody, not even an animal. You need to wrap it carefully around with hobbies and little luxuries and avoiding all entanglements. You need to lock it up in a safe, the safe of your selfishness. But in that safe, dark, motionless, airless, your heart will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, irredeemable. You see, to love is to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is actually at the root of love, which is coming directly from this. Now, of course, the fear of rejection slaughters the voice from your heart. But remember, time is short and life is to be lived, so don't fear to speak your heart's truth. What you feel matters more than the thoughts or opinions of others. And rejection is a lurking, sinister state of mind. Remember, hearts don't reject love, only minds do that. The real truth is that we are all exposed, we are all vulnerable, whether we are courageous enough to admit it or not. And in the area of, this has got a connection to it somehow or other as well. So does this one, probably unsurprisingly. Look, sometimes in relationships we can feel as if we are being oppressed. Nobody can turn you into a slave unless you allow them. Nobody can make you afraid of anything unless you allow them. Nobody can tell you to do something wrong unless you allow them. The beloved did not create you to be a slave. Humans have done that. God didn't create a division between brothers and sisters or borders between us all. Humans have done that. But there is something else, and it applies particularly when we get to this, because this is a time when you are very vulnerable. You reflect and see vulnerability. You become very vulnerable to all the impacts that are coming onto you from outside. Words, deeds, the environment itself. It goes right through you. And sometimes in this context, we might talk about love as being, it should be unconditional. Well, unconditional love is like a country with just two people in it, with no laws and no government, which is fine if everybody is peaceful and law-abiding. But in the wrong hands, though, you get looting, robbery, and crime sprees. And let me tell you, the people who demand unconditional love from you, unconditional love me anyway, they're usually the ones who will rob and pillage, and then blame you because you left your door unlocked. And this is particularly saying to you that you are going to come to the realization this month that if you don't love yourself, you won't be happy with yourself. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. You can't give the love that you do not have. You can't make anyone love you without loving yourself first. And this energy from this ace is pouring out everywhere here. And in particular, interestingly, it's coming to this, which I want to deal with. Well, we get to that in the end, I think, quickly, because we've basically already said what's happening in a sense. That, look, this is a very interesting picture, isn't it? Here you have a young woman with an absolute wealth around her, achievement around her, accomplishment around her. Her thoughts are traveling away. And what's most interesting is if you look at her eyes, they aren't looking at this, are they? They seem to be disinterestedly looking away, almost as if to say, is this all there is? Everything I have, this life which has been granted to me, I don't appreciate it. Now, why might that be the case? Well, astrologically, this is Saturn in the third decan of Taurus, which is the 11th to the 20th of May. Now, look, Saturn, amongst other things, is slow-moving and arguably a restricting planet, and you would understand Taurus as the plodding bull, the fixed earth sign. And together, put them together and you get a sense of stagnation, almost a sense of, I think you might have a moment here where you're feeling restricted or just giving up, resignation, hesitating about things, seeing apparently insurmountable obstacles around you. Fear of falling. Fear seems to be the big thing here. But there is a slow and steady growth. It might be that you are working through something, or have been working through something of a dry spell. This is going to change. And your abilities, you might think, are being blocked by dire and fearful expectations about things. Negative expectations are powerful thought forms which, when nourished, consciously or unconsciously for a long enough period of time, they can actually help create the situation that you are afraid of. The same, of course, applies to positive thoughts and expectations. Remember one thing, if you ask yourself, what is a thought? A thought, and here are some thoughts here. A thoughts are paintings that she has made, and she has put words around them, words to describe the image. She lets it come into her. So her painting and her words come into her. And the most powerful words that you will ever hear in your life are the words that you tell yourself. You see, you should be your own cheerleader. If you talk yourself down when you don't think you're worth much, you find ways to make your world small. You don't allow yourself to hope because you've already accepted failure. And this pattern of thinking often determines the outcome of your most important choices. But this is saying that be aware that doubt and confidence are both acts of faith. They are both predictions of your capabilities. You either tell yourself that you can or that you can't, and these beliefs become a self-fulfilling prophecy because you validate your doubts by giving up just as much as you embolden yourself by refusing to give in. Now, you need to identify what your thoughts are. You have to ignore your doubts and risk failure. Be vulnerable also in love. You have to try to achieve something that seems unachievable. This really is the best recipe for confidence. You see, confidence is how you start giving yourself permission to take up more space in the world, to want more for yourself, and to know that you deserve it. So your thoughts are things that you should select each morning in exactly the same way that you select what clothes you are going to wear. Now, also associated with this is the number 7. Now, the number 7, I have a mystical association with the planet of Venus. And Venus, of course, is your planet, and it is bringing you strength, courage, relationship, and success. But it's asking you to go through a process, I think, in love and loving yourself and making decisions for yourself. And it's saying to you that, look, today, many people are going to wake up with a fresh sense of inspiration. So why not you? Today, many will open their eyes to the beauty that surrounds them. Why not you? Today, many will choose to leave the ghost of yesterday behind and seize the immeasurable power of today. Why not you? You see, it may be that you're afraid to go into relationships because of what had happened before, or that you're afraid to assert yourself because it's in the workplace, because at one time you were put down and you had lost your confidence. Venus is coming in here to strengthen this up. And it's also saying to you that today many will break through the barriers of the past by looking at the blessings of the present. Why not you? For many, the burden of self-doubt and insecurity will be lifted by the security and confidence of empowerment. Why not you? Today, many will rise above their believed limitations and make contact with their powerful internal strength. So why not you? Today, many will live in such a way that they will be a positive role model for their children. Why not you? Today, many will choose to free themselves from the personal imprisonment of their bad habits and of the past. Why not you? Today, many will find abundance in simplicity. Why not you? Today, many will be confronted by difficult moral choices, and they'll still choose to do what is right instead of what is easy and expedient. Why not you? And today, many will decide to no longer sit back with a victim mentality, but take charge of their lives and make positive changes. Why not you? No self-pity. Self-pity is an unforgivable mutilation and suicide of the soul. And today many are going to take action necessary to make the difference. Why not you? Today many are going to make the commitment to be a better mother, father, son, daughter, lover, boyfriend, whatever. Why not you? Today is a new day, and many will seize this day, and many are going to live it to the fullest. Why not you? Now, sitting just below that, there's also this fantastic energy here for you. This Ace of Pentacles. This looks like a sort of a world tree, doesn't it? This is about manifestation, the non-spiritual. I get a lot of Taurus and Gemini and Aries around here. Look, this is saying to you, you are going to do this. You are going to decide that the answer to why not you is, I am going to do it. It will be me. And as a result, you start doing things one step at a time. Just take one step at a time and the way will open up to you. This is speaking of great success, the unification of the body and soul, material and spirit, heaven and earth, and suggests that there are material benefits coming your way, which might be by way of promotion, could be some new source of income. You might get an unexpected gift or something, or there's a new beginning in your life. These aces represent beginnings and opportunities, you understand. But let me tell you, Opportunity does not hang around waiting for people to prepare themselves. It doesn't wait around for the unprepared. It's there. Opportunity has a shelf life. This is literally saying to you that there is nothing you cannot be. There is nothing you cannot do. There is nothing you cannot have. You are the most magnificent, the most wonderful, the most splendid being that God has ever created. For who could reject such wondrous magnificence? Yet you do not know who you are, and you have thought that you were a great deal less until now. You are your own rule maker, and you are the only one who can assess how you are doing. All you have seen in the world has been your ideas about it. Life is going to take off for you when you choose for it to. One step at a time, the way will open. And when you decide to do it, go all the way. Do it. Do it. Do it. Seize the opportunities that are in front of you now. Rejoice in them, and let no power on earth take them from you. What a fantastic, fantastic vibration coming through from the other side to you there. Now, we did foreshadow what this actually did mean, and a lot of Gemini around here, a lot of Cancer, actually. Do you know? Emotions are going to be shown openly. I get a lot of motherhood around here, a lot of parenthood around here. And she is, in a sense, resting on a sea which might well mirror her image. And what she radiates outwardly is a reflection of the deepest emotional reaches of her being. It's going to be you. You will be in contact with your feelings and show them openly and authentically. Now, it might be that some people around you don't always understand you, but that is not a problem for you. That's their problem. I don't think that you're going to compromise emotionally, and nor should you, for in order to do so, you would have to deny yourself, and you might lose that glow of your beauty in doing so. You're going to be very intuitive, emotionally mature, able to get on to and relate to your friends in a very deep way. You'll be practical and can communicate your feelings and realizations. And it could well be that there is a need for you to really get in touch with your inner feelings so that you can express them to others. Now, I did say that there is the opportunity for you to be a mirror, if you like, or a sheet of glass where outside influences can come in and affect you. So get all the negative people out of your life and choose your thoughts. And this takes us finally, I'll have to do it rather quickly because I'm aware of your time, you see. So this is saying your health needs to be looked after, or you may be involved in health or health-related activities. This could well be someone from the land, someone connected with building, construction, tradespeople, tradesmen. You might be knowing someone to do with things like that. This is someone who, I might say though, is really a very hard worker, clever. It's probably someone that you know. Getting Virgo and Leo around it for some reason. You might think that this person, which can be either male or female incidentally, is a bit dull for you, or, just is unable to accept any new ideas or take on board anything which is different to the way in which they already look at the world. In some event, you may say that they don't take much of an interest in anything outside of their work and themselves. And they can be a bit surly and jealous of what they instinctively realize is a kind of a more enlightened or superior state in other people. They can be meddling in petty matters. And sometimes as a result of that, they can actually spoil good things which are coming their way. Now for you though, I think that you will be instinctive and you'll have a good work ethic which will bring results over the longer term, and you'll be using your work ethic to get things by. You don't need to be Einstein at the moment. Do be careful though that you don't become something of a workaholic and that you do spread your interests around. But now is the time to set your abilities to work in service of some kind. And I do think there's a lot of tasks ahead of you. You can probably see them already. And they're going to demand the use of all of your powers. But if you make the effort, you are going to be richly rewarded. And do think this, that whenever things seem to be too much trouble for you, concentrate on the positive results of your actions for you and for others. And say this to yourself, that with every task that comes my way comes also the energy needed to complete it. What a fantastic spread of cards. For you, made so much better for you being here.
Extremely interesting artwork, wouldn't you say? Beautiful, I think. Now, unless I see you in the meantime, either for a clairvoyant reading or for healing, then I'll see you here again next month. And until then, though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.